technology training, which we have not covered yet. This is first time we are doing it on this platform. So web application firewall, it's like always a hot topic in the industry. Reason being that, you know, already we have firewalls, we have other solutions, endpoint security, we do have, cloud-based security solutions, SASE solutions, but still we need WAF solution. You cannot run your WAF applications, right, without WAF protection. Okay. This is the mandatory thing which you need to have to secure your applications. Now, why it is needed, right? Why there is a need to have WAF, web application firewall, to safeguard your websites, to safeguard your web applications, right? When you already have firewalls, when you already have endpoint security solutions, when you already have SSE solutions, why do you need WAF? First of all, this thing we need to understand, right? Now, if I talk about the web application firewall, so let's take a small scenario, right? Let's take an example. This is my website, ngcloudx.com, right? Now, this ngcloudx.com, I have hosted it over my server, right? And this is the server where this website has been hosted. And it will be having some private IP. Let's take an example, 172.16.1.2. This is the private IP of this server, right? Now, this server we will connect to our network topology. You will be having switches, you will be having routers, so many things will be there in your network infrastructure. And then you will be having your firewall before your internet circuit. This is your firewall, right? Now on firewall, definitely we have to create the, this destination based rule to allow the inbound access. Okay.
Sorry to
Please,
interrupt. Please, is this screen visible? Not able to see.
it is visible to everyone, I believe.
It's visible for me.
Thank you. So, on firewall, we are going to create the destination based NAT rule to open the port for this application, right? So we will create the destination NAT here. And on that NAT, on that security policy, because you would definitely need one security rule to allow your communication from the internet towards this resource, right? So this will be your internet, and your users will be coming from the internet. Now, these users, you don't know whether they are trusted users or they are, uh, hackers, attackers, you don't know, right? Because when your application is live over internet, you cannot control the traffic. You can get botnet traffic, you will get legitimate traffic, right, from your users. You will also get, hackers. They will also try to hack your website. They will also try to damage your website, right? Make your services down. Now, what happens, whenever you need to host any website, so basically what you are doing is, from your ISP, you will take one public IP, you will get the public IP on your ISP link. If you are not getting public IP, if you are getting the dynamic IP from your ISP, because it happens, few ISP, they provide dynamic IPs. In that case, you can use dynamic DNS, DDNS functionality to host your website over internet and make it available, for everyone. Now, whatever you have used to make your website available over internet, right? You would need firewall to protect it. You cannot directly host your website over internet. Otherwise, it will be down within 24 hours, 48 hours. If your, business is well known and people, they are aware of your business, definitely, hackers will also try to bring your services down. So whenever we talk about any enterprise level, applications like Flipkart, Amazon, Microsoft, Cisco, whatever it is, if you talk about any big enterprise environment, they cannot host their websites
gonna connect to the serial 3.
Okay. So you cannot just, host your websites without any protection. Protection is needed, right? Now, to protect the infrastructure, we use firewall. Okay. So we are providing support, security support till network layer with the help of the firewall. So that's why we also call it network appliance, network security appliance, right? These days, next generation firewall, they are able to provide you the application layer support as well. So if you go with your OSI model, so you get earlier with legacy firewalls, we used to get the support till port numbers, your layer 4. So those firewalls were like port-based firewalls. They were not providing you application layer protection. So we used to use IPS, IDS blades to get the security on application layer as well, right? But these days, your next generation firewall, it is also providing you application layer support, but it is not that up to the mark which you get from dedicated WAF. Okay. So you cannot only rely on one firewall to be fully protected, because what will happen, let's take an example. I have hosted this particular website, ngcloudx.com. This is my legitimate user and this is attacker machine right here. Now they both can open ngcloudx.com from internet, easily available, right? Now this legitimate user is just coming to the website, whatever services he has taken, he or she, they are just navigating to those services and they're enjoying the website. On the other hand, this hacker, what he will try to do, he will try to, you know, get the unauthorized access of this server or of this application so that either he can damage the services or he can, take out the data. If I will give you an example of recent hack which happened on our Prestige Institute, through which our Aadhaar data got leaked, right? And if you will see that 80 million Aadhaar records are already available over dark web, right? So I mean, it's like 80 CR plus individuals data is already available over dark web, where our Aadhaar information is there, our home addresses are available, blood group information is available, mobile numbers are available, so many things are available already on dark web. Now this hack happened because of the application flaw, right? So these days, if you will see from development point of view as well, because mostly developers are reaching out to me, right? Because now we have solutions, and the security vendors, what they are saying is like, save your application itself. Do not put your security in others' hand, right? First, you need to ensure that your application itself is secure. There are least number of vulnerabilities available inside your, application. So you need to first learn how to build your applications, which can be, secured up to 95%. I mean, 95% of hacks can be taken care by this application itself. Okay. And rest of the 5%, you can handle it with endpoint security. You can handle with, your firewall. You can handle it with WAF. Because when you host any website over internet, users can interact with it, and there could be multiple possibilities in that way. An attacker can exploit any vulnerability in that particular application and get the unauthorized access of that application. Okay. Now to protect that, we have web application firewall into the picture, right? Now what WAF is going to do for you? So this web application firewall is going to provide you security at application layer, right? If I will give you an example, let's take an example. You visit my website, that is ngcloudx.com, right? And there is one option to log in. Then only you can watch the course videos. Now just imagine if there is any hacker who is trying to, watch the videos illegally because he didn't enroll to that course. And if he wants to watch the videos, the very first thing he will try to do is bypass this login, right? Now, what he will do when he will visit that login page of the website, he will try to, find out the vulnerabilities in that particular web page. And he or she will try to exploit that vulnerability by using, the arguments which my application, my backend was not expecting. If I will give you an overview about applications, so, your applications, they have front end. You're talking about the web application. They have backend. And third is your database. Three main components are there in your monolithic architecture, right? So front end is like the user interface which interacts with the user, and whatever you are doing, that information front end takes and give it to backend for processing, and then backend further communicates with database to get the data and give it to the user, right? Now, if any flaw is there between these transactions, any vulnerability is there, definitely hacker will try to bypass it and will try to gain the unauthorized access, right? Because there are multiple type of attacks which are possible on your application, right? So far you must have heard of only DOS based attacks like denial of service. Somebody is doing flooding, right? Somebody is trying to bring down your services, right? But there are other set of attacks as well, right? SQL injection is there, cross-site scripting is there, right? Then a brute force attack is there, buffer overflow attack is there, right? So there are multiple ways by which we can gain the unauthorized access of the application and we can damage it, right? Because data is something which you need to protect. And if you talk about information security, infosec, right? Their main job is to safeguard the data. If data cannot be secure, then it's like you are vulnerable, right? You can anytime get impacted by the cyber attacks, right? Now, talking more on WAF, how WAF is going to provide you this service, because what your network firewall is doing. First of all, network firewall will check for the security rule, whether you have the rule to allow this communication. If you have the rule, it will be allowed. The very next thing you can do on your network firewall is like you can have a security profile, right? You can turn on the next generation blades like IPS, right? Uh, your vulnerability protection, right? Anti spyware, anti malware. These are the services which are available these days on your next generation firewall. So you can turn on these services on your network security appliance to safeguard your resources to a certain extent, right? But you cannot safeguard it 100% because still your application is interacting with the user. Okay. So when I say when the application is interacting with the user, now there are multiple possibilities this user can try to gain the unauthorized access. Okay. First, he will try to bypass the authentication layer which you have on your website, right? You put login feature to add authentication layer through which you are providing your courses, right? So if that thing can be bypassed, then he will also try to find out ways to illegally assign the courses without payment, right? So payment piece he can try to bypass. Then he or she can also try to download the videos illegally, right? So there are multiple possibilities through which attackers will try to damage your brand, right? And if you talk about Amazon, Flipkart, I still recall my days when I used to do the bug bounty for all these companies, right? So what I used to do it, uh, I found out one bug for Amazon where what was happening that once you create your account on Amazon.com, there was a way through which you can generate a coupon of 99%, and you can order anything for just 1 rupee. And I'm talking about this back in 2015. It was in my college days, right? So this vulnerability was there in Amazon, right? So, you used to get the 99% coupon through which you were able to order anything for just 1 rupee in India, right? So, this bug bounty program is very good, and multiple organizations, they sponsor it because they want you to find out the vulnerabilities in their applications and notify them so that they can give you the reward as per the criticality of the bug, right? Because see, systems are like every day in, day out, you're rolling out new features, right? You're designing everything. So for a developer, it becomes very difficult to understand all the use cases, right? Because developers, their main task is to develop a service. They are building a system for you, right? But what flaws are there in that system, your testing team will be able to test it out, but to a certain limit, right? That's why, we have the red teams and blue teams in the organization to get us this information that how secure we are, because we need somebody from cybersecurity point of view as well to give us this intelligent whether our system is safe or not, right? Because if we are not able to get the information, definitely, people will be able to try to leak our data, and they will try to damage our products and services. And this is what happens, right? In businesses, whosoever is providing online services or selling online goods, there is a huge possibility that hackers, they can exploit their products and services, and they can make unauthorized use of it, right? Now, to prevent that, as per the compliance as well, if you go through the risk and assessment and governance piece, there you will understand that vulnerability assessment and pen testing is compulsory now. We also call it VAPT. Why do we get it done? To ensure that our infrastructure is safe, and we are not vulnerable to certain critical vulnerabilities through which our infrastructure can be compromised, right? So if you look from holistic point of view, like if I will give you an example of overall security architecture, right? So to protect the servers, we have endpoint security. We install endpoint agents. If you recall, CrowdStrike is one of them, right? So CrowdStrike main job is to protect your server from the malwares and unauthorized access. Protect your device from unauthorized access, from data breaches, from ransomware attacks, blah blah blah. Multiple things are there. If I talk about firewalls, they are there to provide you protection from network standpoint, to control the access, right? To segregate your network, but they won't be able to give you the application layer protection. Although these days we do get basic application layer protection from firewalls, but still it is very easy to bypass the firewall, right? Trust me. If any organization is thinking that they have just put the firewall and they are safe, then it is their mere right. It's like they're not having good security consultant team available who's able to analyze the overall risk associated when you are just running your services on the basis of firewall, right? You need endpoint security, you need firewall, you need WAF as well. Now, when we talk about WAF, web application firewall, there are two types of web application firewall these days are available. One is like your cloud-based, where you get services through a cloud-based service, and another one is like on-premise. In on-premise, you can get physical appliance as well as you can get virtual appliance, right? Now, when we talk about cloud-based WAF, it will be beneficial, from multiple point of views, but it won't be able to safeguard your resource completely, right? That's why you need on-premise WAF as well. If you talk about any data center, wherever we are providing infrastructure as a services, or we have hosted multiple websites, there you will see on-premise WAF is also there. Without on-premise WAF, you cannot secure your applications. It is the requirement, basic requirement, that you need to have the web application file, right? So if I talk about any data center, you will see DDoS appliances, dedicated DDoS appliances, dedicated firewalls, dedicated IPS blade, intrusion prevention system, dedicated IDS blades, intrusion detection systems, You will see dedicated WAF, web application firewall. This is going to be your security stack in the data center, and then you get your respective switches, routers, and other server farms in the data center, right? Now, when we talk about cloud-based WAF, what is this? This is nothing but a service which you are, a WAF service which you are getting through a cloud, and Cloudflare is one of them, right? In our previous session, whosoever is attending the hypergrowth, you must have seen we are discussing about Zscaler, we are discussing about Palo Alto Prisma, Netscope, right? Now, what is happening? We are giving security from a cloud. Okay, security as a service in short. Okay, we are not dependent on the branch-based box to safeguard your infrastructure, because these days your network is diverse. We have very diverse network, diverse type of branches, right? Users are also very diverse, right? Working from anywhere. Okay, so we don't have any control on the traffic these days. We have SaaS applications and all that stuff. Now, you cannot provide them security by just one common platform, right? You need to have a cloud-based platform to provide them the security. And this is where cloud-based services are now gaining market. Okay. If I will talk about more on the architecture point of view, how it is going to look like. So let's take an example. This is your server farm.
Nitin, excuse me, can you just repeat it again? The last point. Why we need both cloud-based and this on-premise basic.
Yeah, I'm just making the diagram. You will be able to understand. So this is your server farm, right? And you have your core switch, whatever it is, core access, right? Your distribution layer. Then you will be having your firewall, right? And then you will be having the reachability to internet. And mostly we put our firewall, our server farm in DMZ zone. If you talk from firewall perspective, it will be DMZ zone. So what practices these days we guys are following whenever we design any application architecture, right, for enterprises, how they should host their applications. So what we do is like front end we put on a different server and we put it inside DMZ zone. And your critical resources like backend and database, we keep it inside trust zone. So that if this front end server gets compromised, right, we still have possibility to safeguard our backend and database, because once your database is gone, then everything is gone. Now let's take an example. You guys are purchasing courses on my website. Now just imagine if my database is gone. Whosoever has purchased what course, I don't know, because it is being taken care by my website. Right? If that database is no longer there, you all will lose your course access. And then we also don't know what to do. So that's why, we safeguard our databases, regular backups we take, right? So that in case of any disaster, disaster recovery can be done very quickly. And, we have this distributed architecture now. And that's why if you see the application shift from monolithic to microservices, this is one of the reason. So I'm not sure whether you have heard of these things, monolithic architecture and microservices architecture. If you compare why enterprises, they are moving from on-premise applications to cloud-based applications, reason being that we get microservices in cloud, right? If I will give you simple example, let's take an example. This is my application where everything is done. Courses are available, checkout page is available, payment is available, everything is there. If something happens to any of the component, my entire application will become non-functional. On the other hand, when we talk about microservices, so in microservices, you have service for each function. Let's take an example. We have payment service, we have checkout service. If any service is down, it is not going to bring down your overall system. Similarly, you can have database service and all that stuff, right? So, distributed application architecture is needed to safeguard your applications. And these days, what we do, we put front end in demilitarized zone so that whatever attacks are coming, it will come towards front end. And if this server gets compromised, still we have backend and database segregated. Now, what will happen? Let's take an example. This is your, if I will redesign it, it is going to look like this. That this is my trust zone where I'm keeping my database and backend. These are my critical resources. I'm hosting these services on these servers. And I'm also installing endpoint security agent. Let's take an example. CrowdStrike is there to take care of these servers. In DMZ, I'm going to put my front end, server, right? And here as well, I will install the endpoint security agent. Now you can see that, this communication, we can safeguard through firewall as well. So whosoever is sitting here, this user, which is coming from internet, whatever traffic he is generating, it is going to hit my firewall. Because let's take an example. You do NSLookup for ngcloudx.com. So what do you get out of it? You get an IP address. On that IP address, your machine is going to make the connection, right? TCP request will be, SYN request will go to that IP address. And wherever that website has been hosted, that particular firewall is going to do the TCP three-way handshake with you, right? Because I need to have this communication in full proxy mode. And, I just forgot one component. There will be load balancers as well. You will have
And
load
the load
balancer.
balancers also having a WAP features, right?
We will come to that point, right?
Okay.
So you will have load balancer as well, because when we talk about Flipkart, when we talk about Amazon, you can't even imagine the number of users who are active, in a day, right? So one server cannot fulfill the requirement of the users. Okay, so we have multiple servers and we have load balancing devices, load balancing techniques available to distribute the load, right? So, we'll run it in full proxy mode so that whosoever is interacting with our resources, we can do deep inspection on that particular traffic flow. You have to do the deep inspection, right? So first you are doing the deep inspection at firewall level, but still you are vulnerable, right? Like you highlighted load balancer, we do have WAF feature, so we will talk about it. Now to secure this entire transaction from application point of view, what Cloudflare has to offer, Cloudflare is saying that, you can take out my WAF services, right? Along with that, I will also give you CDN services. So Cloudflare is very big, guys. It is not just web application firewall you get out of it. You get so many services from Cloudflare. Okay. So now what Cloudflare is saying that instead of users making direct connection with you, let them make connection with me. I will do full proxy for you. Let me decrypt your traffic. Let me provide you the functionality of WAFs, right? So now when we put WAF into the picture, so your overall infrastructure looks like this. You have this firewall. You must be having any public IP here. Let's take an example, 183 uh, dot 11.44.92, something like that. You have this public IP, right? Now this server will be communicating with Cloudflare WAF. So you will have one service, Cloudflare, through which you will safeguard your server, because on this firewall you have created a destination based NAT towards the real server. This is your real server, right? Now what is happening? This Cloudflare is also providing content delivery network functionality, CDN service as well to your users, which means it is going to hide your server or server location from the user. Let's take an example. This Cloudflare is having different delivery nodes. Now CDN is nothing but content delivery network. So you are going to have different delivery nodes of Cloudflare in each country. So in addition to provide you security, Cloudflare is also providing you CDN functionality. Cloudflare is also providing you cache functionality, so that your users can access the websites very easily, right? And they should face zero latency. So basically what happens in your application, you will be having static pages, you will be having dynamic pages, right? Images and all that stuff. So what Cloudflare is going to do, Cloudflare is going to cache that information locally. Because whenever you access any website, if it is going to have too many videos, too many images, right? It will take time to load. Now to decrease that particular load time, we need caching service, right? So that your information can be cached inside that CDN network, and whenever users are connecting, res- in from their respective geographic locations, information can be provided to them through the nearest data center. Just think from my point of view, being ngcloudx.com, if I would like to provide very good, fast services to my users across the globe, how many data centers I would need, right? Because if users are coming from US and accessing my website, and I want that they should be able to open my website in just 1 millisecond, in just 10 milliseconds, or within 1 second, they should be able to open up my website, right? So I need to I need to put my server close to their location. Now just imagine, being a small business, you cannot afford to have data centers in all the locations. And that's why people are going on cloud, right? Because cloud already you have data centers in all the major geographic regions, and your services will be available through that. So you need not to worry about your data centers. Earlier, this was the challenge, right? We used to have multiple data centers. These days, through cloud services, we are reducing the number of data centers, right? So I'm sitting in India, providing my services across the globe. Now, to minimize the latency, I'm using Cloudflare CDN services. Now, this CDN is helping me to cache my information and provide it to the users respective to their locations. So whenever you do NS lookup for ngcloudx.com, you will see that you're getting different IPs. It will depend on your location. If you're sitting from if you're trying to access website through US, you will see a different IP. On the other hand, if someone is sitting in India, if they do this NS lookup, they will get different set of IPs, because the CDN network, it is distributed. Okay, so users will connect to the closest POP, point of presence, and through that they will get the cached website. Further, if they interact, then this POP will further communicate with the backend server to get the request done. Now, this is like optimizing the access of the application. How WAF is going to protect you here, right? Now, Cloudflare is also providing you security against network threats, as well as web application firewall. So network layer threats like DDoS protection is there. if somebody will try to do DDoS, you can get the DDoS protection from the Cloudflare. If somebody is trying to, trying to do brute force, you can get that protection as well, right? But still, you are vulnerable for SQL injection, cross-site scripting, right? Your buffer overflow and all that stuff. Now, to get the protection against application layer threats, we have to use WAF, right? Now, WAF will be able to provide you the security at application layer. You will get the visibility that how users are connecting with you, with your server, which client browser they are using, what is their location, what they are doing on your website. You can restrict few pages. You can, within your website, you can put some challenges. If you find that, user is trying to do some malicious activity, you can challenge them to prove their humanity, right? Because these days, over internet, we have botnets, right? And the major concern, which is becoming, like very big concern in industry is like attacks from AI based botnets, right? Now, botnets are using AI based engines to create the new malwares and new create new attack tactics to get inside the system, to penetrate the system, right? So you also need a defense mechanism where you can provide a solution which is mature enough to take care of such attacks, right? So Cloudflare WAF is going to provide you such functionalities where you can get more granular control from application point of view. How hackers are able to exploit HTTP headers, you can get that control, right? How they are searching for the pages, how they are searching for the vulnerable pages within your web application, you can get control of it. Now, the claim which I made, like only Cloudflare WAF is not sufficient for your application. Reason being that you are hiding your application from the users because they know that ngcloudx.com, whatever IP Cloudflare is giving them, they are not able to get the real IP, right? But now just think from hacker point of view, this IP is public IP, right? And to open any port on your firewall, if you want, any service to be live over internet, you have to open a port on this particular public IP. Let's take an example. You have open 443 so that people can access your device, your web application. Now this port is open on this particular IP address, right? If hackers are able to identify your public IP, they will directly launch the attack towards it. So in that case, I will not write in my browser https ngcloudx.com. I will not write this. What I will do, I will write this https 183.11.44.92. This is what I will write, and I will be able to connect with the application if application based security is not available inside my code. So in your code, you can make sure that if somebody is trying to hit you directly on the IP address, you should drop that connection. You should only listen for domain based connections, fully qualified domain based connections, right? So that's why, for developers also, it is becoming important to learn the security these days, especially cyber security, because mostly businesses are running online. And to safeguard the business, you need to have the protection. Otherwise, you're vulnerable. So if this vulnerability is there, then what you need to do is you need to put on-premise WAF. Because if somebody is hitting you direct, you're bypassing Cloudflare. Because I have hit the public IP directly. So if I do this, I'm bypassing Cloudflare. And I will give you these examples. I mean, I'll show you how we can bypass the Cloudflare WAF, right? How this is a security vulnerability which nobody knows. I mean, only few people they know it. I was having discussion with one of the security consultant, right? We were having this discussion. He was discussing this use case with me. Then I pointed out this thing that there is a way you can bypass Cloudflare WAF. He was like, no, no one can bypass Cloudflare WAF. So I was like, okay, just wait, let me give you the live demonstration, right? So then I have given him the live demo. That this is the way you can bypass your WAF, Cloudflare WAF. You can make a direct connection like this. Okay. Now, if you have on-premise WAF solution available, just like you said, definitely we will be having load balancers, right? So in that load balancer, you can turn on the WAF functionality as well, so that you can protect your applications from such direct threats, right? Because if threat is trying to enter inside your application server, you have the on-premise security as well. First of all, firewall is there. And then if it is able to bypass the firewall, then you have the WAF, right? And WAF will be able to protect it. Guys, in cybersecurity world, no solution is 100% cyber safe. If somebody is claiming that after putting this vendor firewall or this particular solution, we are 100% cyber safe, then they are highly mistaken. No solution is 100% cyber safe. There is a possibility to exploit everything. And the more time you will spend in bug bounting, the more advanced level hacker you will become. You will agree to this point that firewalls, WAFs, and all these things are myth for an advanced level hacker, right? They are easily able to bypass these things very easily, right? This is just that it is there in the infrastructure to provide you protection from the entry level hackers. Otherwise, what will happen? What will happen? Your normal, hackers will also disrupt your services, right? Because these advanced level hackers, they don't get involved very easily until unless it is a sponsored attack or something else is there, right? So they are not going to attack ngcloudx.com because hardly they will get any benefit out of it, right? So every professional, they have their own set of rewards, right? If I talk about our domain, right, we have L1, L2, L3 from support, team leads, right, and then design team, pre-sales team. So if you see, they do get salaries as per their defined roles and responsibilities. Accordingly, when we talk about hackers, right, if you join their community, if you go to dark web, if you join the community, you will understand that they do have their status, right? So these advisories, they never target. I mean, if you meet a big advisory, uh, let's take an example, a ransomware group is there, right? They will not waste their efforts in encrypting ngCloudx servers, right? Rather, they will be focusing on Cisco. They will be focusing on Facebook. They will be focusing on, this Google. Okay, because they know that if they are able to breach them, they will get big rewards, right? So similarly, we have class of hackers and entry level hackers. They will definitely try to hack ngcloudx.com. They will definitely try to hack, other xyz.com because they are just learning hacking or they just very at the start of their career, right? Because this domain is also very big. Hacking is not that easy, right? To break the system, you need to learn so many things. And, from this session itself, you might have got to know so many things about applications, networking devices, right? Security devices, your cloud-based services. Now, to break everything, you have to be very sophisticated. You cannot just break it right away, right? Being security engineers, being network engineers, we never try to learn applications end to end, the application and user journey end to end. What we rather focus when we are doing job, it's like we focus on our devices. either networking devices or security devices, right? We never think that how this application has been designed, you know, to which we are trying to protect, right? And how my user traffic is coming, how it has been designed, what my users are trying to do, right? So all these things we need to take care of it. And being an architect, when we meet customers, we talk from application point of view. We never discuss network security and all these stuff. These are byproducts. When you design application overall, I mean, if you take an example of Instagram, right? Whosoever has designed Instagram, do you think they have given a thought of infrastructure level things and all that stuff, right? First of all, it's like, we have architects of different domains. You have database architectures. I mean, you have database architects, you have application architects, you have network architects, you have security architects, right? So you have architects from different domains. You connect with them, and then you decide everything overall. And this is where your CXOs come into the picture, your CTOs, CIOs, right? Your CISO. So CISO is from security department. CTO will be taking care of our overall technical domain, right? CIO will be taking care of your information technology, and CEO will be taking care of your overall business, right? So this is how it has been designed, and this is how it is functioning. Okay. Now focusing on WAF, what level of services we are going to get from Cloudflare WAF? Because in this Freedom Bundle, we promise to deliver two WAF solutions. One is like Cloudflare, which is a cloud-based service, and another one is like FortiWeb WAF, which will be the on-premise, right? So what we are going to do is we are going to first spin up one application. We will host it in our location. We will first safeguard it with the help of the Cloudflare WAF, and then in next batch, we will also install FortiWeb WAF to get the protection, right? So now if I talk more about on Cloudflare, what level of services you get. First of all, you can get DNS services from Cloudflare, because if you know, we always take care of 8.8.8.8, right? Have you ever heard of 1.1.1.1?
Yes.
What is this?
Yes.
This is the DNS
Cloud,
server IP managed by
Cloudflare
Cloudflare.
DNS.
Yeah, so this is Cloudflare DNS, right? Similarly, you can control your records. You can, so let's take an example. Ngcloudx.com is there. Then you will see I have also launched training.ngcloudx.com. So ngcloudx.com is for international society, right? If you are outside India, you will be able to open up this website, right? If you are in India, then automatically when you hit this domain ngcloudx.com, you will be redirected to training.ngcloudx.com, right? Because basis on your country, I'm doing the redirection. Because in ngcloudx.com, you get pricing in dollars, and in training.ngcloudx.com, you get pricing in INR. And both platforms, they host different set of courses, right? So DNS control is there, page redirect control is there, right? Page-based redirects are possible. Then you have security control, brute force, DDoS, WAF is there, right? And you get the insights as well. How many attacks, how many, throughout the world, how many attacks you have received within 7 days, 28 days, and all that stuff. And it is also going to provide you cache services, right? So you will be able to get the page cache functionality from Cloudflare. So many things are coming up from the Cloudflare. And nowadays, they are also providing you zero trust network access and other SSE based services they have started providing, right? So Cloudflare itself is very big, right? So as part of this training, we will focus on WAF. We will focus on security piece, which we have inside Cloudflare. These DNS and all that stuff, I'll try to cover it as well, right? But main focus will be on security. So what we are going to do is we will be hosting one website, we will put it behind Cloudflare, and we will do the live attacks, and we will see that how my WAF rule will be able to provide me protection. So with the WAF and without WAF, we will explore the scenarios that what value Cloudflare is bringing on table and how it is protecting my business. If I will walk you through the platform, so this is how it looks like. If you will see on ngcloudx.com, so total visitors, 11,000 visitors in just 1 month, total request, percentage of cached traffic, 90% traffic is going cached. It means if my web server is down, still my website will be up for the users until unless they try to do some login or something else where backend processing is needed. Only then you will see that website is down. Otherwise, if you're just opening the home page, you will see home page will come up. Still, my servers are down, right? So similarly, you can see the analytics and logs, right? You get the details of HTTP traffic. You can get the security related logs, right? How many attacks you are getting. So if I check, 30 days threads, so you can see how many attacks I receive, right? And you can see the date wise attacks whenever I do some sort of marketing events or something like that, right? So I bring attackers as well on my website. Okay, so you can see top country through which I'm receiving attack. It's like US. Now, why only US? Why not China? Why not Russia? Because I have blocked them, right? I know that they don't understand English and they don't need my courses, right? Why do I accept traffic from Russia, China, and Korean countries? I don't want that, right? So I have blocked it. But in US, I know my users are there. Now, how I will classify which user is good and which user is bad? Now, this becomes a dynamic decision. That dynamic decision will be taken basis on the user behavior, right? So that's why, few countries, I mean, I cannot ban India, right? So geofencing we do, but to a certain limit only. You cannot impact your business because of security, right? Just like CrowdStrike did. So we invested in
So
CrowdStrike to get the security, but CrowdStrike itself brought down the services. Yeah, somebody was asking something.
Nitin, so I have a query. So I just want to know that Cloudflare is giving the protection on port number 445 only. Is that correct?
See, uh, there are multiple ports on which it is going to provide you the services, right? Whatever web ports are there, right? We have the defined range and we have the customized range as well. Right now, we are getting security on web applications. So whatever ports are there, you can do the port triggering and all that stuff with Cloudflare, right? You can do that, but it will
Okay.
only support web ports. Not non-web ports will not be supported. There is a list
Got
of
it.
web ports, so I will cover it in the training module. There is a list of web ports on which you can host your services. Non-web ports are not supported. Uh, in fact, I did cover this thing in one of my previous lectures when we were trying to create the backdoor entry uh, in one of the infrastructure by using the SSH tunnel. I did this, right? So I'm not sure whether you are aware of not backdoor entries you can create, right? So we were trying to exploit the ports of Cloudflare. So Cloudflare is only going to entertain on web-based ports, right? There is a list. We will discuss it in the course. Other than that, it is not going to respond you back. I mean, you will not get any response back. Okay. Now, you also get this country graph through which you get threats, right? So you can see Russia. So I used to get it, but I have blocked it now. Russia, China, right? Major threat 168, you're getting it from United States. I cannot block US. And that's why, attackers, they are sending attack towards me. Egypt, France, Germany, right? Ukraine, Turkey, so many countries. In fact, from India as well, I'm getting threats. right? Then you can see bot traffic, crawler traffic, right? Top threat countries, right? And then rate limiting features. So many things are there. I mean, see how to protect uh, your web application. Let's take an example. You have this login page available in your application where user can log in, right? So when you click on login button, you get this username and password, right? Now, if somebody is trying to do brute force on you, so what he will do, he will just pick up the URI of your login page and normally run the brute force script in Kali Linux. This is what we will learn, right, in this course. I will do these live things. So if you will run the script, brute force script, so what he is trying to do with the combination of username and password, he will try to log in, right? So you can control this. We call it rate limiting because every time you fail in login, we can put restriction on that. If you see on your bank websites, if you enter your user ID and if you're going to enter your password 3 times incorrectly, it will be blocked. Your account will be blocked. Then you need to go to the branch, you need to get it unblocked. Same thing happens with your ATM cards, right? So such things we can put. So similarly in your website as well, you can put the rate limiting at how many times a user can log in into the website, right? I mean, failed login attempts he can do. Okay. Then if you scroll it down a little bit, you will see top total threads stopped in last 24 hours, 224, right? And then traffic served over SSL, types of threats mitigated. So these are unclassified. Similarly, if you go to security, here you will see more details, events, WAF, page shield, bots, DDoS. If you go to events, and if I will make it previous 24 hours, so you will be able to see. These are the 24 hours events which we have received on our website. And this is one event where, we have blocked the maximum number of transactions. 21 uh, threads were blocked at this point of time, right? So you can see. And there was one event where we have, uh, you know, uh, pro, pro, sent the challenge towards the user that prove your humanity, right? So these are user-based behavior, decisions which Cloudflare is going to provide you, right? Here you can see ngcloudx.com 208 events are there. Training.ngcloudx.com 18 events are there. So it means this training.ngcloudx.com is for Indian users. People are not trying to hack this one, but people are trying to desperately hack ngcloudx.com, which is uh, you know global website, right? So this website, people are trying to hack it more as compared to this one, right? Then you can see the country-wise details, from where you are getting the attacks: United States, Bulgaria, India, China, Germany, right? And accordingly, you can block the countries if you don't want that traffic to be hitting your uh, websites. See, sometimes it happens. I do have my core subscribers from China. I did block of China users a few months ago, and then I got the WhatsApp messages that, sir, we are also your subscriber, or we are getting this warning in the browser that you cannot access this resource, right? So then I have to unblock it. So it depends. I mean, how you need to build your security infrastructure so that you can provide your services very effectively, very efficiently to your users without compromising the security. Because this is one of the things that sometimes what happens that to enforce security, we compromise our services. Either you are introducing latency, either you are, putting too many security measures that overall system has become very complex, right? So whenever we design something for enterprises, whenever we design their architectures, this is our priority to ensure that their services should not get performance related challenges through security measures. Right? Whatever security solution we are deploying to them, it should not bring latency, because a little bit latency is acceptable, but we cannot have uh, poor performance network in place just for the sake of security control. Okay. Then you can also get the details of the path, right? So this is another thing, which particular thing they are trying to exploit, right? So here you can see someone is trying to exploit this course slash Zscaler training, right? Somebody is trying to exploit this Ajax call, right? Somebody is trying to exploit this XML file, right? So, now these are the things which your firewall cannot protect, right? Because whenever we develop any application, it is going to have web application, it is going to have multiple pages, right? So when you visit training.ngcloudx.com, you see the home page, then you have all courses page, then you have respective course page. Every course has its unique URI. Okay. So this is where attackers they play. They play to exploit your pages, to find out the vulnerabilities in your pages and get it exploited and get inside the systems. Once they are inside the system, then they go for elevated access and try to bring out the services. If I talk about cross-site scripting attack, you must have heard from the security professionals that never host your website on shared hostings. Why they say that? Because if any of the website has been compromised in that shared hosting pool, there is a chance that through that website, attacker can come inside your website as well. And this is what your cross-site scripting attack is, right? So that's why we go for dedicated servers. We prefer to host our services on our servers only, right? Rather going with the shared hosting, because see these things normally if you will discuss with any developer, let's take an example. You want to start your online business and you will reach out to any developer and you will ask that please build a website for me, right? The developer will build the website, but they are not aware of such threats. They don't know all of these things. So they will just build the website, host it anywhere, and just make your business up and live. And few months ago, you will find it out that your website has been hacked or some sort of redirections, traffic jacking is happening, DNS poisoning is happening, right? People are visiting you and then they are getting redirected to some other website. So there are so many techniques to take out your website traffic, right? DNS poisoning is there, traffic jacking is there. If I want at present that everyone should be visiting my website over internet, I can do that, right? If I will give you an example, let's take an example. If anyone is searching on Google related to any Zscaler course, if I want that wherever Zscaler courses are hosted, if the user is going to their websites as well, till that user can come to my website, I can do it. But ethically, these things are not good, so I avoid doing such things, right? Being cybersecurity professional, my job is to safeguard the internet, right? Not to destroy it. So we don't do that, right? But still, these things are possible. You can do it. Okay. Okay. So these are the things which you get. You see the source IP addresses of the attackers. You see their user agents, which they are trying to use to visit your website. Then you see the path, right? What they are trying to exploit, countries, their ASN numbers, right? Their host. So all these details you get.
Hey, Nitin, I have a question.
Yeah, yeah.
So this solution is not only for the on-prem, right? It is also for your cloud-hosted applications as well, right?
That's right. So
Hello,
you
can you
can
hear me?
use it for, yeah, yeah, I can hear you. You're
Yeah.
right. You can use it for on-prem as well as for cloud-based applications.
Okay, and this is a bit different for, so instead of outbound traffic, it is for more towards the inbound traffic, right?
That's
Traffic
right.
coming and accessing your applications. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
that's right. And it is more related to your HTTP protocol, your post and get method, right? It is protecting you from HTTP, protocol. I mean, the HTTP header layer, it is trying to give you protection. If you see this, uh, this particular thing, this path related protection, do you get inside your firewalls? Is there any way you can control the path of any application in your access rules? No, there is no possibility. But in WAF, you can do it, right? If you will see here, course app panel back. I mean, course app back panel, right? Allow rule, block rule. So many things are there. In your applications, we do design back panels and all that stuff for administration. So over internet, how to protect it and all that stuff. There are so many things. Then you can see this Russia Federation block, United States, right?
Yep,
So
yep. So
what they are trying to
basically,
do.
yeah, so basically your SASE solution is to protect your outbound traffic, whereas your WAP solution, such as Cloudflare, to protect your inbound traffic towards your applications.
So very nice thing which you have brought up, right? So this confusion is there in the market, which I have seen so many times. When we talk about SASE, it is giving you protection for intranet, for your internal communication and employees, right? You're restricting access of your employees. When we talk about WAF, now here we need to protect our resource from public threats. You're
Perfect.
hosting a website where you will be accepting the inbound connections from open public, right? See, if I will give you an example, let's take an example. In Cloudx Solutions Private Limited, we have so many in-house applications for employee use. HRMS is there, attendance and leave management. So many systems are there, CRM and other systems. Now just imagine, do I need to host those services over internet? No, because those portals are for my internal use. So similarly, for every enterprise network, you will have CRM, you will have Salesforce, you will have other internal portals which should be accessible to only employees. On the other hand, there will be some applications which will be public, which can be accessed by anyone over internet. For that, we will have a separate network. We will do the network segmentation for that, and we will use a different network segment for our internal use, right? So public to private bifurcation, we will always do.
And how important is to have HTTP protocol knowledge to implement Cloudflare or any a WAF application?
See, it's
WAF,
like if you
yeah.
are not good at it, because when we talk about WAF, you should be having good knowledge of HTTP protocol, because then only you will be able to configure the WAF properly as per the best practices. Otherwise, you won't be able to do much in it,
Or
because you won't
or
be able to understand it altogether.
or if I have to ask this question in different way, can I learn HTTP while implementing WAF, Cloudflare WAF?
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay.
See,
Okay.
when
You're gonna cover that
when you
basis as well?
basic, I'll try to cover, right, but not much, because my understanding is like you already know how HTTP works, right? Because here, we will be simulating.
I know how
Uh,
TCP
this,
IP works.
yeah. So here we will be simulating SQL injection attacks, right? We will be simulating cross-site scripting attacks. We will be simulating, this brute force attack. We will be simulating DDoS. We will be simulating buffer overflow. All these attacks we will try to, uh, use throughout this training program, and we'll try to see how you can create the WAF rules to get the protection. Otherwise, what will happen if you don't know the offensive way, then how can you build your defense? To build a good defense, you should know offense. If you don't know the offense, then how you are going to create the rule, right? Because your mindset is not ready that this could be the possibility and you can get the attack in this way as well, right? So whosoever is responsible to configure WAF, that guy should be very sophisticated, and he or she should be aware of all the offensive techniques available, commonly used by attackers to gain unauthorized access of your systems. If you don't have that knowledge, you won't be able to configure the WAF properly, and then you will open up your application for attacks. See, I'll
Yep,
give you
makes
another
sense.
example. In the beginning of the session, we I discussed that our Aadhaar cards and all that information got leaked, right? And 80 CR records are now available over dark web. In that particular data center, do you think that it was not having any firewall? It was not having any IPS. It was not having any WAF solution in place, right? Everything was there. Everything. Still data got leaked because their application itself was not designed properly. So there were certain ways that if you're going to query the application itself gave the data as a legitimate transaction. In that case, hacker, all these devices were there, everything was there, but were not able to provide the protection. Then these products are of no use. And that's why these days application security is becoming another hot domain, right? And developers are now being asked to give security at application layer itself. Do the hardening at application layer when you're designing your application, right? And that's why these vulnerability assessment and pen testing services, they are becoming very in demand thing if you talk about services, professional services. So this particular domain is also gaining very good market. But what I have seen so far, it's like many startups are there. What they do, they use certain tools to just do the scanning and generate the reports basis on the tool, and they share it. It doesn't mean that you are safe, because you would need to do deep pen testing. I mean, so many things are upcoming because few things I only teach offline. I don't teach online because these techniques and tricks, we cannot teach online because we don't know to whom we are teaching and what they will do in near future, right? So we have to give them controlled environment. We have to give them controlled set of, you can say, power to damage the systems. Otherwise, they will start doing hacking around the across the internet, right? Which should not be the case. So that's why deep pen testing techniques, how to hack the systems, because I get these requests on regular basis. If I will open up my WhatsApp chat, you will see how many people they ask me to do right things where they are ready to pay very heavily, but I don't accept those things, right? Because see, these days every other business is running online, right? And to damage the system to get some unauthorized benefit out of it, right? People are ready to pay you. So if you visit my channel, YouTube channel, there I uploaded one video regarding brute force attack, right? And that video got good views. And right after that, through that video, I have been approached by multiple users to, hack certain websites, right? So I was like, boss, no, I cannot do that, right? So these are the things which we need to take care. Otherwise, you can put yourself in problem as well. So this was that video, right? So I created it just for fun, and it got something around 20,000 views, right? So here I have given the insight that how you can hack a WordPress website very easily, right? So after that, people approached me and so many things, but still I avoid getting into these things because I only do it as a cybersecurity professional. My job is to safeguard the infrastructures, not to destroy it, right? And if we find out any vulnerability anywhere, we always, uh, reach out to the concerned member of that company to patch it. Okay. So this is the difference between your internal applications and your external applications.
I have another question. So,
Yeah.
since the developers are now migrating their applications or maybe integrating their applications to use the quick protocol, means they are
Mhm.
just sending request HTTP or a quick. So, does the Cloudflare web or any other web supports the as well, the quick protocol? Maybe it's on the UDP, or still we are sending the traffic request same traditional way what we used to do in HTTP
Yes.
get.
Yes, it supports. And
Okay.
if you see my website as well, so when you visit ngcloudx.com, the first connection you will be making it through quick protocol only, because if you are using Google browser, right, the default behavior of Google Chrome is like initiate connections on quick rather going with traditional TCP three-way handshake. Until and unless someone blocks quick in the network, then only it falls back to traditional three-way handshake.
Thank you.
And Nitin, actually nowadays what happened, the organizations are using the Akamai organization to inspect the traffic for incoming actually. So what's that approach actually? Is it good or how it is?
See, it is also good. I mean, Akamai solution is very good, right? So, see, it's like, uh, if I talk about myself, there are so many things, so many services which are available these days, which I have hosted over internet. Lab.ngcloudx.com, ngcloudx.com, training.ngcloudx.com, cloudxsolutions.in, right? These are the websites which are owned by me, right? These are my brand websites. So now, if you will see so much, I have invested in security, right? I do have on-premise firewalls. I do have on-premise WAF. I do have cloud-based WAF solutions, cloud-based securities, right? So now you can imagine if I'm able to invest so much to keep my services up and running, then how critical it becomes for organizations like Flipkart, Amazon, and other, because the every other transaction is happening through online platform only, right? So if you're launching a e-commerce related store or something like that, then it becomes very, very important for you to get a solution through which you can get the protection, right? So Cloudflare is one of them, Akamai is one of them. You have so many options available in the market, right? And Akamai is also doing very good. I mean, it's like, if you get a chance to work in Akamai, you will see, how big customers they are holding these days.
As per Gartner report, it's on top Imperva in
Exactly.
Yeah.
this.
Yes. So still we need on-premises WAP if we use Akamai.
You need. See,
Okay.
on-premise web, see, we do work in data centers. We provide our services to data centers, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
In every data center, you will see WAF is there, dedicated WAF team is there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, when you are hosting websites in your data centers, because why do we build a data center? To host the applications, right?
Yes.
And now these applications could be internal or these applications could be external. So mostly we provide our services to data centers where they are offering their infrastructure as a service to other customers, where they host their applications and make it live over internet. Right? Now, if you
Yep.
talk about AWS, Azure, what are they? Right? They are like hyperscaler platforms where you can host your applications. Now, what I have done, we have distributed architecture of ngcloudx.com, right? Front end is somewhere else, database is somewhere else, right? And backend is somewhere else. And there, that's where your multi-cloud connect comes into the picture, MCC, right? So these are the things which you need to understand, and then how container networking comes into the picture, cloud networking comes into the picture, right? Then cloud security comes into the picture. So, when you will learn all these things from end to end, then you will understand, okay, this is how things are working in real world. It's not that easy, trust me. There are so many things which you need to learn to become an enterprise architect, because you need to talk more on application layers, you need to talk more on uh, you know infrastructure level. You cannot be just limited to one product or two products, or just one technology or two technologies. You have to open up your mind.
So just to add into that,
Okay.
Nitin, when it comes to hyperscalers, so we sometimes customers ask us, they prefer native WAF like Cloud Armor for GCP and Mason we have WAF.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
for those hyperscalers, how to decide? Should we go with the native service or should we go with the Cloudflare, Akamai
See,
or Maven
see,
based brand?
see, see, Sandeep, you're very much right. Even when we were migrating our application to AWS, so very first thing came into my mind is like, let's use a native AWS WAF, right? But if you go to the enterprise network level things, there you will, because we need to give this battle card between native features which we get from these hyperscalers, be it WAF or firewalls, right? So we need to give this battle card to our customers, that why they should take Palo Alto, Checkpoint, or Fortinet instead of AWS native firewall or OCI native firewall, right? Why they should go with the different OEM vendor firewalls, right? So obviously, every solution has its own caveats. Okay. So we have the battle cards available with us. So there are certain things which you cannot get from the native solutions, where you have to be dependent on other OEM product, right? So when you see that we were working on one of our clients' infrastructure, uh, so it's like I gave them the SD-WAN as a service solution. Their entire database data center was on AWS only, right? Everything was hosted on AWS. Now they were having public websites as well as they were having internal websites. So for internal websites, we built the SD-WAN fabric to make the transaction smooth, right, by using the internet. But for public websites, now the question for us was like whether we should be giving them AWS WAF, or we should be giving them a different product to safeguard their resources, right? So in that case, we need to first identify the use cases of the customers. What are the use cases available for this customer, right? How people will be accessing it, how critical infrastructure is this, right? And whether these are the things which can be supported by this particular, native solution, yes or no. We have a checklist, feature to cost comparison checklist, we call it. So, these are the things which we do when we prepare solutions and all that stuff, right? So, we also need to take care of budget, as well as we also need to take care of features, right? So, if my feature to cost ratio is somewhere close in terms of native and other OEM, then definitely it's makes sense. It makes more sense to go with native solution, right? Because service chaining will be easy. Your dependency on third party will go away. Because what we have seen is like when you try to do service chaining with different solutions, there it becomes very crucial for you to have knowledge of everything. Otherwise, your services will not work properly. If you have deployed, the way we do migrations in on-premise setups is altogether a different when you do migration on cloud setup. right? So that's where, rather going with third-party services, if you take the native services, you will get the features what you're looking for. But yeah, definitely you will be limited for add-on features, definitely. Because if I talk about AWS, what is their primary job? Their primary job is to provide you the services, either infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, right? So their job is to provide you some sort of platform infrastructure so that you can build your own infra and you can host your services, right? Their main job is not to only provide you security. Now security is add-on.
That was 5, 10 years back, but as I understand, these hyperscalers are investing very heavily. They are taking people from Microsoft or security companies to make sure to boost their products, especially the Google and Azure. Yeah.
Google had recent, partnership with Palo Alto as well, right? OCI is also having partnership with the good security companies because see, why they are investing much in security, because they are not getting uh, the customers, right? If you talk about BFSI customer, they are very reluctant in going to cloud still, right? Because there is a possibility, they know that there are possibilities from where our data can be breached, right? So that's why, it becomes the utmost priority for these hyperscalers to invest in security to provide good security solutions so that they can attract more customers. But as of today, still native security solutions are not good as compared to other solutions which are already there. See, try to understand this fact. Checkpoint is checkpoint. Palo Alto is Palo Alto, right? And Cisco FTD is Cisco FTD. Every product has its own pros and cons, right? Similarly, when you're building something from scratch, let's take an example. I'm also working on a firewall. I'm also building my own operating system. And might be me and my team will be able to develop it in a year or so. So do you think that firewall will can beat Palo Alto or Checkpoint, who is there in this market from past so many years, right? They are master of the domain. So this is what I'm trying to say. You're right, they are investing, but when you do the feature cost comparison, they get out of the race. Any other doubt?
Nitin, I have one query.
Mm-hmm.
So when suppose one application is hosted, let's say example in India, and they have taken the Cloudflare services, right,
Mm-hmm.
for the CDN and DNS.
Just like us. We are in
Yeah,
India and we have taken the Cloudflare services. Yeah.
yeah. Let's say example, some one user is accessing NG Cloud from US. So
Mm-hmm.
Cloudflare will actually give the service from nearby US any data center where they have that points of presence. So
Yes.
so basically the public IP which user is getting to access the NG Cloud actually belongs to Cloudflare, not to the hosting IP, right? Which you have hosted
Yes.
originally. So how
Yes.
that
We can.
connectivity will happen exactly? So is it
Yeah.
related
So
to only DNS or
yeah. So we can do the live test on call. Is there anyone out of India right now in this call? Outside India or any state
Yeah,
other than
Nitin,
Delhi?
in Canada.
Okay.
Tell me.
Okay. So can you just do this, what I'm doing right now in my on my screen?
Okay.
And can you just let me know what IPs you see on your
Okay.
command prompt? So you must be getting a different set of IPs. Yes, no?
Yeah, I'm pasting in the chat window.
Yeah, yeah. It will be great. So what we will now do is we will try to get the latency, right? We'll try to get the latency of each IP address which we are getting from here. And these are not my server IPs. Okay,
Yeah,
these are
I
different
posted in the chat
IPs.
window.
Okay. So you're getting this particular DNS IP. And what about other guys? Are you able to get it something similar or you are getting something different?
I got the similar things so from different state in India. Then
Okay, so you are in India. Okay.
yeah.
But these are not my real IPs, right? This is not my real IP. Similarly, if I will do trading.ngcloudx.com, so yeah, I'm getting
Look,
this same. Yeah,
it
because
looks
it
like
is
a
coming
pool of
from,
IPs assigned to you.
yeah, pool of IPs is there. But these are not my real IPs, right? And if I will try to check the latency between me and this particular IP right now, so 24 millisecond, 23 millisecond, we are getting average latency, right? So if you see the round trip time, it's coming out to be 23 milliseconds, right? But my actual data center, my actual server is in Mumbai, not here, right? It's in Mumbai. And if you try to check your latency, you can also do ping towards one of the IP and you can see what type of latency you guys are getting. So
48
what is happening?
milliseconds.
Yeah, it will be different for every other user. So what is happening here is we have the CDN network, content delivery network. Each CDN network is having POPs, right? So let's take an example. My data center, my web application server is hosted in somewhere inside India. This is where it is hosted in India, right? Now users are coming. Let's take an example. This is US and Canada, right? This is Middle East, right? This is Asia Pacific. So let's take it Asia, right? And this is, let's take Europe. Okay. So my users are also coming from these different regions, and my server is there in one country, right? So now what will happen? These CDN nodes, they are already back to back connected through BGP. So someone was asking about the routing. Oh, I'm not sure whether you are part of my hypergrowth bundle or not. So there I'm going to teach Prisma and we are already covering Zscaler and all that. So whenever we build any cloud service, right? So within that cloud, we use BGP for routing within the region, multi-region and all that. And if you take an example of Prisma Access, where we have RNSPN nodes, MUSPN nodes, SCCAN, all these services, they spin up dynamically and then they get connected through BGP, right? And it's like mesh topology is already there. So whenever I onboard my server to Cloudflare WAF, right, or to Cloudboard, or onto Cloudflare, what happens is like the IP address. I have to create the DNS record, a record I will be creating for my website, right, which will be having the real IP of that server. Obviously, I cannot show you right now on call, but when we will be hosting one test website for our learning, there I'll show you that. So you get that A record inside your Cloudflare. So your Cloudflare network is already aware that this is the real public IP of this particular website, right? And since this IP, it gets populated inside your, it gets advertised inside your CDN network. So when this user is trying to access ngcloudx.com, so initially you will make connection with this node, not with the actual server. So it is behaving like a man in the middle, right? Because
DNS
I'm
record needs to be created in Cloudflare itself, or it does not matter whether we are creating in outside any DNS?
No. You have to create it. You have to either have a record or you, because how Cloudflare will come to know if you are not going to integrate your domain.
Yeah. That domain need to be integrated in the Cloudflare itself, or we can do in maybe
No.
GoDaddy
You
or
have
somewhere else.
to see. You have to
Okay.
integrate your domain on Cloudflare. Otherwise, how Cloudflare will come to know? Or you just need to have a
You need to have the. You can have a
Name server
CNAME only.
redirection from
name
GoDaddy,
server
maybe.
redirection. Yes, you can do
Okay.
that. So
So
you need
we
to
can have
do it. Otherwise, yeah, please.
we can have a record somewhere else, but I think as long as you have a CNAME in Cloudflare, that should be good, right?
No, Sandeep, we do. I mean, I do have CNAME records, right? But in that case, if you try to run it in full proxy mode, it creates problem. Okay, I'll give you example. You can visit lab.ngcloudx.com, right? Now, this is something which is not part of Cloudflare, right? If I will give you this NS lookup here, so
So
you
this
will
goes
get
to
the
your Zscaler private access, the lab.ngcloudx.com.
yeah, so here you get the AWS ZPA service, right?
Yeah, ZPA.
So here Cloudflare cannot provide me the protection. Reason being that in Cloudflare I'm using CNAME to point to towards this particular ZPA service, right? So I cannot run it in full proxy mode. This service will not work, right? Similarly, we have other services too, which I have to bypass it. So when you go with CNAME, in CNAME, you point your services towards the target server where your things are running, right? But if you try to, if that target is already using some sort of security solution, then you cannot run that particular service in full proxy mode. Either you need to just have DNS only, or you need to, you cannot go with proxy mode in that case. So many things are there. It depends on the use case. What is your use case? I have already implemented all the use cases in Cloudflare to play here and there, right? Because at present, so many services are up and running, and the main idea is to secure everything over internet, right? So lab.ngcloudx.com has been secured by Zscaler and this Microsoft Entra ID. So, somebody was asking me regarding that SASE technology and all that stuff. So here in SSE as well, you get few features where you can protect your web servers, right? You can secure the inbound access as well. It was not there before, but now we are getting it.
So will you cover DNS as well in this?
I'll try to see what maximum I can cover. Right?
Yeah, because we are using DNS in our environment. That's the reason I asked.
Yeah, I know, but because we will keep it to WAF only, because few topics they become irrelevant for other users, right? So what I was explaining is like when you make connection with ngcloudx.com, so you are making connection with the CDN node, right? And then if you're not doing anything, if you're just visited for the first time, so CDN is going to give you the static web page that this is the website, see it. But if you try to log in, if you try to interact with it, then your request will go to your actual server. And since this is full proxy, so this CDN node will further make connection with my server, not you. You are only making connection with this node, right? So this device here is behaving like man in the middle. It is running inside full proxy mode. Uh, Let me see if I can share that with you. Let me just recall what other services are also there before sharing.
So
Okay, I'm
Nitin,
not
via
sure what
the
other rules are also there, but let me show you. So here, you have your SSL TLS settings where You can safeguard your edge devices, right? What certificates you need to give them. An overview will give you that what mode you are using right now. So your SSL TLS encryption mode is full, right? So it means that from user browser to Cloudflare, it is secure, and from Cloudflare to origin server, it is secure, right? So these are four modes which we get in Cloudflare. One is like off, you can just disable no encryption, right? So you can disable the HTTPS. Another one is like flexible between your visitors and Cloudflare. This avoids browser security warnings, but all connections between Cloudflare and your origin are made through HTTP only. So it means if I will make it flexible, so browser and Cloudflare will be on SSL, but from Cloudflare to my origin server will be HTTP, plain text. Then comes full, that enabling encryption end to end. It means from here and here as well it is SSL, and from here and here as well it is SSL. And then comes your full strict mode, right? So it is another mode which we will discuss, and then so many other things are also there.
Nitin, just a
Yeah,
quick query. So basically, in this case, we are just installing the TLS certificate on Cloudflare, not in the uh, server side.
exactly. So, you know, if you go with full strict, you need certificate. So when I'm hovering over this option, see on screen, you don't see any encryption. When I go to this, you see encryption between browser and Cloudflare, but no encryption between Cloudflare and origin server. When you go with this, you see encryption between browser Cloudflare and Cloudflare between server. But when you go with this, then you would need certificate as well on your server, which needs to be imported inside Cloudflare. Then only this communication will work, right? For that, you would need a certificate, and you need to buy another layer of subscription from Cloudflare to use this full functionality. So here you will see your edge certificates, right? You can make your certificates like this. You can place order, right? So already we have wildcard certificate available. If you see this, and these are very expensive certificates, guys. I mean, it's not that easy to buy these certificates. So if you
So
visit this
Cloudflare
lab
can
dot,
provide certificate as well.
yeah, they will give you. See, now again, in SSL, there are so many things. You get shared certificates, you get dedicated certificates, wildcard certificates. So, what happens when you go with shared hosting and shared environments? If I go with this flexible, so here you see that I'm getting the certificate. I mean, already my services are running on port 80, but if my users will connect, they will get certificate from Cloudflare, not from me, right? In full mode, we both are communicating with the help of the certificates, right? User to Cloudflare, Cloudflare to server. But if I will go with full strict, then the certificate which I have installed in the server, I need to import it in Cloudflare as well. This is where I was giving you the example. So if you visit this, if you see the certificate chain, see here, star.ngcloudx.com. So we have the wildcard certificate available. This is our own SSL certificate. It's very expensive, guys. It's not that easy to buy certificates. Okay. Then, you get the details to whom it has been issued. Cloudx Solutions Private Limited. How it has been issued, right? And issue date and expiry date, right? So then these are the fingerprints. Okay. So we
So
use our
Nitin,
own certificate.
do we
Hmm.
need to make an IPsec tunnel from Cloudflare to the firewall or to the
No, no. Just our DNS record is enough.
okay.
You just need to integrate your DNS. That's it. Domain.
Okay, so Nitin, I have a question. Like, I have a website, it's hosted maybe in any of the cloud, and its URL is abc.com, just to take an example. And I don't want any Cloudflare to inspect the traffic for my main domain, abc.com. But I do have some subdomains like lab training.abc.com. And someone asked, now we have to uh, only use the Cloudflare to secure the subdomains. So in this case, how I'm going to integrate the Cloudflare with my subdomains that I'm going to use.
You can
But
you can do it. You can do it, and in fact, I'm doing it. Right, like you see that this lab.ngcloudx.com is not being secured by Cloudflare. I'm bypassing it. Right, so you can do other way around as ngcloudx.com is secured through Cloudflare. Lab.ngcloudx.com has been secured through Zscaler. You can do other way around. It is possible. See, it's all about
okay,
how good you are with DNS. Because I'm not sure whether you attended my webinar on. I think I took the webinar on DNS and DHCP. So another thing is like few people still are wondering who is Rohan sir. So guys, I'm your Rohan sir. Please do not get confused from my old videos because I got to know people are still searching on internet who is this Rohan Sharma. Right. So I was using it because I was working somewhere. Now I'm full time doing it. So I'm using my real identity. So here, if you go to the Stack Foundation boot camp, right? So you will see these two webinars, TCP deep dive and this DNS and DSCP, right? If you go through it, these are very long webinars. You will go through it, you will understand, right? If you're good with DNS, you can do anything you want over internet. And these days, the attackers are becoming so sophisticated that last year, when Facebook went down, right, all services were impacted. Because, when you are very big in terms of website, you're a giant e-commerce provider, then you will be having your computes in different geography, right? You will be having your servers in different locations closest to your user. So in that case, you control your own DNS. You participate in internet routing. You advertise your own records over internet. So just imagine if I'm able to get inside your DNS routers, because this is what Facebook revealed after that, that somebody did some changes in DNS router, and due to a problem in BGP routing, our services got impacted, right? Because DNS resolution started failing in user machines. Right? So now just imagine if I'm able to get inside your DNS, right? Wherever you're maintaining your DNS records, you're gone. If I will give you an example here, when you visit this lab.ngcloudx.com, there are multiple servers, right? Multiple servers. Uh, 13 to 14 servers are there. That server farm, right? It is having its own DNS record, right? So when you enroll to the labs, as per your user ID, you get the server access. Only that server will be visible to your user ID. Right? You will not see the all server farms. Right? Now, how I'm securing it, because that server is available over internet. Right? So how I'm securing it, how the entire transaction is happening between user and my server, and then how we are doing the protection. It's again a good point of discussion, right? So whenever you host your services, you need to ensure that you are providing good services in place. Otherwise, it will be like just few hours and your services will go away from internet. Anyone can hack it very easily. Okay. So many things are possible, right? Here, if you will see edge certificates, the certificate which you want your users to see, right? So if I will visit, let me show you. If I will visit ngcloudx.com, so this redirection will happen automatically. I will be redirected to training.ngcloudx because I'm coming from India, right? So here, if you will see that, the certificate which I get, this is a different certificate from the certificate which I have here. So you can also control, right? This certificate is different, star.ngcloudx.com, and this certificate is different, right? And if you see the details, here I don't see the organization name and all that stuff. But here I see the organization name and everything, right? Because this configuration, I have done it here. Which certificate will be visible to which type of user and what is the importance of that certificate, right? So many things you will learn slowly and gradually. Then you will see your client certificates, you will see your origin server certificates, right? Custom host names. So many things are there inside Cloudflare. It is very big. Okay. Any other doubt? I
One
mean,
quick,
these days they
yeah.
also provide email, right? DMARC management and traffic routing options are there. Argo Smart Routing, a new feature which they have introduced. Load balancing is there, right? So many things are there which they have recently added. And this Zaraz is nothing but another thing which they are providing you, right? To keep uh, control on your, third-party tools and tags, right? Similarly, Web3, I'm not sure whether you have got this insight or not. Right now, we are moving towards the Web3 applications, right? Web 2.0 is gone almost. So we have Web3
Blockchain?
gateways, blockchain, right? So now we have Web3 gateways as well. So many things are coming up which Cloudflare is giving you. And if you do cost to feature comparison, then it becomes very good solution. Yeah, please tell me if any questions are there.
Nitin,
So
how's the Cloud WAF solution considered in terms of the compliance, in terms of PCI compliance or data security, GDPR compliance as well? Because we are trying to protect sensitive data, and you are moving that sensitive data inspection into a cloud. So what does the cloud provider say that?
It will be rejected.
Okay.
So in that case, you need to have on-prem setup.
Okay.
In fact, when we propose SASE solutions to our customers, especially in Europe, right, when we give them Zscaler, Prisma, this is the major concern we get. Where are you going to store our logs, right? So
Okay.
either store
Yeah.
the logs within their country. You should not be leaving the country. And soon you will see such things in India as well. Okay? It is coming inside DPDP Act.
Okay. So who is the customers who are primarily using the cloud service in terms of this security product? Is it
See, it depends on your use case. For me, if you talk about me, what is important to me right now? I need to protect my services, right? And in my application, I'm not storing customer personal information, right? I'm not storing your credit card information. If I'm not storing your credit card information, so I'm out of, that compliance, right? Personal information one, right? Credit card information one compliance, I'm out of it, right? So
okay?
similarly, it
Yeah.
depends what level of data you're storing, and accordingly, you need to be compliant to that property because these are different properties. If you talk about verification link where we get few details from you, that property runs on a different environment and that environment is compliant. You are not uploading your data on any cloud service. That is the on-premise service which has been protected by my on-premise setup.
Okay.
Okay.
how about
I'm not.
financial services, Nitin? Like banking sites or maybe payment
So
gateway, it can be compliant with Cloudflare?
to a certain extent,
Okay.
but still they don't do it because see,
Mhm.
just now I have shown you, right, full proxy. The
Yeah,
user are
yeah.
making connection with Cloudflare and then Cloudflare makes connection on your behalf with the server. And when you go with the strict proxy, you need to also onboard your certificate inside Cloudflare along with the private key. Then it becomes vulnerable, right? You are onboarding your private certificate, your certificate with private key on Cloudflare. And that's the reason, if you have noticed, I have not imported my star.ngcloudx certificate in Cloudflare. Okay. So there are multiple things. Yeah. I mean,
Got it. Got it.
when you will learn it, you will understand it. You cannot see why people are able to comment on me that I don't know why, how come he is able to retain so many things in his brain and all that stuff. So the only thing is like, and this is the honest feedback I always give to my subscribers, that when you start hosting your services over internet, you will learn everything. Just try it out. Host your services over internet and you will understand that how great teacher that hosting thing will become for you, because you will learn so many things. You can't even imagine the level of attacks we receive on daily basis, right? So we have to do the engineering on that as well, that how these attacks are coming, what attack techniques they are using, how to block it, what to do it, right? Because so many things are there. So this is what I understood so far. It's like whenever I have hosted my services over internet, because I've been doing these things since my college days. I used to host multiple websites. I come from development background, right? So I used to face these things a lot. In fact, still there are multiple services which are there over internet, which you might not be aware that I'm the owner behind those services, because I have not revealed it to anyone. So on those properties, I even receive more attacks because they are more famous than Ngcloudx. Okay, so many things are there. So it's like the day you will host your services, you will come to know how important is security and why organizations they should invest in it. Okay, because now. Mhm.
Sorry, Nitin. Yeah, proceed. I will come to it.
So now you will see that because we have started seeing the movement in India now after DPDP Act. So still, guidelines are awaited, right? Right now we have just got the act. The moment guidelines will be available, then you will see so many transformations happening in India, and everyone will be forced to put the data within the Indian boundaries. And we are also working on these things for our customers. We are educating them how important it is and what reforms are going to come soon, right? So see, it's like, guys, when you need to upgrade yourself, you cannot just keep yourself restricted to a few technologies, few domains. You have to think from 360 point of view, right? I meet people, I see their level, and they are like, sir, I know Palo Alto, I know Zscaler, I'm done. Nobody, you are not done. You are just done for 3-4 years, and after that, you will be out from the market, right? You have to keep yourself updating on each and everything. Otherwise, you will be out. You cannot get good salaries. You cannot get good packages. In fact, I meet professionals who were already working in MNCs and they were earning very good, 35, 40 lakhs CTC, and at present they are jobless because the projects, the technologies they were working upon no longer there, and now they're struggling for the job. Because when lose your job, uh, you know if you're having certain age, right, and if you lose your job, if you lose the skill set, then you barely get opportunity in the market. So that's the worry you should be always having in your mind, that you have to keep upgrading yourself, because this is the domain where technology is changing in every year. You cannot, I mean, because this is what I say to my trainees as well. The worst domain to spend your time is like technology. You cannot get peace here. You have to keep on upgrading yourself, right? And for me, the biggest source of learning is like hosting these services. Whosoever is using my lab service, they can give me this feedback, and they must be aware the way we started 6 months ago and the way we are standing after 6 months. There is a huge difference in the or in the entire service journey. So those transformations, implementing so many technologies, doing service training, this gives you exposure. And same thing I'm doing with my hypergrowth bundle. If you will see there, we have procured so many technologies. We are investing in licenses. Why we are doing that? Because that becomes the good source of knowledge, right? So whenever you want to upscale yourself, you need to invest in your skill set. You need to, find out the tools which you can buy so that you can do practice, you can learn, because that will become the real hands-on tool for you to learn something, right? So this is my only request to all of you. Whenever you get chance, try to do some practical work. This theoretical knowledge is just theoretical knowledge. And in fact, I can take many sessions, but I won't be able to give you complete knowledge transfer. Okay, it will take time. If I will talk about my Palo Alto TAC Advanced course, I used to teach Palo Alto in a batch for more than 240 hours in a month, right? Same thing, I have never done it in aftermarket, right? I have never taught Palo Alto for 240 plus hours in any batch. Still, people say that whatever you have taught so far, we are not able to digest it, right? So if you see the longest batch I took for Palo Alto is inside this Freedom Bundle only. And I think it is having somewhere around 80 to 90 hours of content. But still, I know that is not full content of Palo Alto. I know more than that, right? So, guys, you need to understand this fact that being trainers, we also cannot share everything because there is a limit. It depends on session, it depends on so many things, right? So if you want to learn something on your own, if you want to build this attitude that I will not be dependent on anyone, because see, today I'm sitting at this point of time, I'm having so much expertise on different technologies. Nobody has given me any training. Then how I was able to train myself on these technologies? And this is the network security part you see. You have not seen my coding skills yet. You have not seen my developer side, right? So there are certain other technologies which I know. Training.ngcloudx, ngcloudx, these are the real examples of that, right? So many things are there uh, out of these domains as well, which I need to upscale myself, right? So you have to keep on investing in your skill set, whatever schedule you have throughout the month. Please take out at least 5 to 10 hours for your domains. Otherwise, mark my words, AI will replace you for sure in just a couple of years. And it has already started replacing. Right now, it is not targeting the sophisticated domains, but the common domains it has already started targeting. Sooner or later, you will see that you guys are also getting impacted through AI. Okay, because now these last 2 decades were of internet. Now, upcoming decades will be of AI. So AI is going to lead now, right? So
Hey,
that's
Nitin,
it, guys. I think.
one last question on your hyperscaler course. So since how
Mhm.
long, when did it started, and if